Very good morning to all of you. In this class, I am going to start with another important topic of chapter enhancement strategies for enhancement in food production. In this chapter, I am going to discuss about the Indian hybrid crop for or crop of high yielding varieties. So, in this topic, we are going to discuss about the varieties of wheat and rice and what are the breed of rice or variety of rice or generally in the plant breeding topic. This is the subtopic. Now, in the before going to start, first revise our previous class content, then we proceed to the today's topic. In previous class, we have already discussed about the plant breeding. Now, steps which are involved in plant breeding, that is collection of variability or then multiplication of these desired plant, or after the multiplication by the collecting of germ plus or the self pollination occur for creating the true breeding line desired characteristic. Then after these hybridization takes place in between the true breeding line of different two characteristics. Now after hybridization there is evaluation and testing of the product. Then after testing or after evaluation, the release of these product by commercial way. So after this, the topic is Indian hybrid crops of high yielding varieties. Now before these, going to discuss about the varieties of wheat or varieties of rice, we have to discuss about the green revolution. The green revolution, the duration of green revolution in between 1940s to 1970. That means during this time period there is rapid enhancement in the agricultural field or agriculture products. So for increasing the amount or increasing the yield of product, the green evolution initiated with the help of different scientists. The scientist that increased or led the green revolution was Norman E. Borlaug. So he initiated, or the initiative for the green revolution given to the Norman E. Borlaug. So initiatives for green revolution led by Norman E. Borlaug. So Norman E. Borlaug, also known by the father of green revolution. So he is also father of green revolution. So the initiatives led by the Norman E. Borlaug, he is also known by the father of father of the green revolution, or because he used the synthetic fertilizers or techniques or for the management of field crop, for the management of agriculture product. So because he do so many work in the field of agriculture for the farmers, or he also guide the farmers how we can increase the yield of the products, we can increase the yield of the crops in the field by using the synthetic fertilizers or by using the different techniques or technology in the field of agriculture. So by using, he managed management in the field of agriculture. So the steps of the father of green revolution was in the field of agriculture or for the high yield of crop varieties, for increasing or high yield of crop varieties. High yield of crop varieties because of the Norman E. Borlaug. So what he actually do, the management of the technology or technique in the field of agricultural field. Management of technique. Management of technique, synthetic fertilizers, synthetic fertilizers, and also the pesticides to farmer. Use of pesticides to farmer. So he guide the use of pesticide, or how we can use fertilizers for increasing the yield of the product, for increasing the yield of the crop. And also in the field of agriculture, we also use the technique or technology both in the field of agriculture for increasing the high yield of the crops variety. So for this purpose, after this in India, the scientist is also known by M.S. Swaminathan, also known as father of green revolution in India, because in the guidance of Norman E. Borlaug, he also do function for enhancing the yield of the product or yield of the crops in agricultural field. So for this, he is also known as the father of green revolution in India, the M.S. Swaminathan. So M.S. Swaminathan, he is also known as father of Indian green revolution or in India. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is also known as father of green revolution. Known as father of green revolution. Father of green revolution in India. So in India, actually the green revolution the green revolution done by, or the enhancement in the crop field or the products of the agriculture done by the M.S. Swaminathan with the help of Norman E. Borlaug. So he also took the help of Norman E. Borlaug. So in the field of rice, and mainly wheat and rice, so many research or variety developed for increasing the yield of the crop by the Norman E. Borlaug. He produced the semi-dwarf variety for enhancement in the crops, for enhancement in the wheat and rice too. Now, in between the 1960 to 2000, 2000, there is drastic change in the amount of wheat production or the rice production. The wheat production increases by 11 million to the 75 million. So wheat increased by 11 million 11 million tons to 75 million tons. Whereas there is also increase the productivity of rice by 35 million ton to 89.5 million tons by semi-dwarf variety of wheat. So with the help of semi-dwarf variety of wheat. Semi-dwarf variety of wheat. So semi-dwarf variety of wheat developed by the Norman E. Borlaug in the institute, and the name of the institute was International Institute of Maize and Wheat in Mexico. So the institute in which the father of the Green Revolution, that is Norman E. Borlaug, developed a new variety of wheat in the International Institute of Wheat and Maize in Mexico. So he developed the dwarf variety of wheat. Norman E. Borlaug Norman E. Borlaug developed a semi-dwarf variety. Semi-dwarf variety in International Institute of Wheat and Maize in Mexico. So he developed by increasing or through the development of semi-dwarf variety. So the most of the wheat variety, because the seeds are not formed or wheat are not formed in the plant, because of they attain the larger height, or due to this they are not able to give fruit. If they give fruit, so most of the fruits, because when the larger plant, because stems are not so strong, so due to the less strong stem, the plant bends towards the soil, or they lay down towards the soil. So due to the contact with the soil, most of the seed or most of the wheat diseased or destroyed by contact with the soil, bacteria or the pest. Or due to this, he developed the semi-dwarf variety, because if the semi-dwarf variety plant is stand as such, so they are not the plant is not contact with the fruit of the plant is not contact with the soil, so that the diseased bacteria or diseased fungi or pest which are present in the soil are not able to infect the plant, or due to this reason infect the seed or wheat. Due to this reason, the high yield production of high yield of wheat variety by the semi-dwarf variety which is produced by the Norman E. Borlaug in the National Institute of Wheat and Maize in Mexico. Now he also do work in the other Norman E. Borlaug, that is the IR. Another variety is like semi-dwarf. Another variety is IR8, developed in the International Research Institute in Philippines. Developed in International National Research Institute, International Research Institute IRI in Philippines. Philippines. So other of the odd varieties developed by the Norman E. Borlaug for enhancing the wheat variety, for enhancing the yield of the crop. So all these happened by the Norman E. Borlaug and or with the help of their colleagues, also help in the developing of the varieties, but he is known as the father of green vegetation. Now other than Dr. M.S. Swaminathan also do so many work on the wheat or on wheat, maize, rice, for developing or for create a high yield or produce high yield of the crop. And the second variety is Tai Chung Native 1. Tai Chung Native 1, developed in Taiwan. So other than these, so many varieties are also produced. Another varieties, these are the varieties for enhancing the yield of the crop. For example, enhancing the yield of the crop by Norman E. Borlaug, that is he produced the semi-dwarf variety, the IRA, developing International Research Institute in Philippines, and Tai Chung Native 1, developed in Taiwan. Now all these actually enhance the product or the yield of the product. Now another type of varieties which are disease resistant varieties. So disease resistant varieties developed in India are disease resistant or resistance varieties developed or introduced in India in 1963. Or example is Sonalika and Sonalika and Kalyan Sona is the variety of wheat. So these are the disease resistant plant, or they have developed the resistance against the different insects or pests which are actually survive in soil. Also they are with the help of wind they also migrate from one crop field to another crop field. So there is chances of destroy of whole field of the wheat, whole field of rice too. So for making these plants Sonalika and Kalyan Sona, they are actually disease resistant plant which was introduced in India in 1963, have the resistance or the variety, these are the varieties of wheat or have resistance against the pest or disease. So disease, sorry. The semi-drought variety of rice introduced in India in 1966. Semi-drought variety of rice introduced in India, introduced in India in 1966. In 1966 was Jaya and Ratna. Jaya and Ratna. So these are the semi-dwarf varieties of rice. Semi-dwarf varieties of rice or introduced in India in 1966 for enhancement in the crop of rice. So other than this, sugar also the hybrid sugar also developed by the crossing between the two breed of crossing between the two type of breed, that is Saccharum officinarum or Barberry. So these are the two breeds of sugarcane. So let us discuss about the breed of sugar, how they use for the hybridization or for making the new variety. So next is the variety of sugarcane. Varieties of sugarcane. Sugarcane. So Saccharum Barberry produce in or grow in North India. Grow in North India with poor sugar. That means the sugar quantity in the Saccharum Barberry is so minimum, so less as compared to the other officinarum. The variety of the sugar or breed of the sugar is Saccharum officinarum. Saccharum officinarum, which is another breed of sugar cane, grows in South India with high yield of sugarcane. With high yield of sugar. But the disadvantage of Saccharum officinarum is they are not able to grow in the North India. They only native to the specific area, that means they only grow into the South India. But they produce a high yield of sugar. In case of Saccharum Barberry, they can grow in the North India but produce less amount of sugar or poor sugar yield in that type of plant. So what happened or how the making of breed done by crossing in between the Saccharum Barberry or Saccharum officinarum. After the crossing in between the Saccharum Barberry and Saccharum officinarum, the hybrid can grow in North India or also because they produce high sugar but not able to grow in the North India. When now, if the crossing between the Saccharum barbarii or Saccharum officinarum done, so the plant which are produced after the hybridization, they have ability of growth in the North India, or also can produce the high sugar yield. So high sugar yield takes place by the officinarum, Saccharum officinarum, and they can survive in North India too. So the hybrid of barberry and officinarum, the hybrid of barberry and officinarum can grow in North India, can grow in North India with high sugar yield, with high sugar yield. So the plant produced by the Saccharum officinarum by the hybridization between the barberry and officinarum have the both quality, that means they yield high amount of sugar, or also can grow in the North India. So other than these, some of the millets also millets are hybrid or variety of maize, ज्वार और बाजरा. Variety or breed of maize, ज्वार and bajra. So these are the variety of maize, ज्वार and bajra, or can reproduce in the field of other than their locality. 2. Water strength. Water stress. So they can survive, the maize hybrid of or variety of the maize, ज्वार or bajra can survive in low water amount. They do not need more water for the development of the bajra, ज्वार or maize. They can also survive in the less or water or during the water stress. So here is the overall about the crops, or so many crops are actually produced by the hybridization, by the different technology, or for the enhancement in the food production, or for the enhancement in the yield of the agriculture. Now other plant and crops we will discuss in next class. So I hope you like this video. So overall, if I summarize the content of today's class, that the green revolution is developed for the development of the crop or products of agriculture. Now it is initiated in between the 1930 to 1970 mostly. Now the father of green revolution is the Norman E. Borlaug, and the father of Indian green revolution is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Now so many varieties developed, for example the semi-dwarf variety of wheat and semi-dwarf variety of rice, disease resistant plant, or the water stress resistant plant like millets, or sugar cane production of hybrid sugar for yielding the high sugar yield. So many plants are developed during the green revolution. Or the introduction of rice or wheat in India in 1963 and 1966 is Sonalika, Sona and Ratna and Jaya. That is the rice, that are the rice varieties, and Sonalika as the wheat variety. Now other plants also hybrid, the hybrid of other plants also present in India, so we will discuss in next class. I hope you like this video and keep listening and watching me. Thank you for listening and watching me.